Greetings, dear precious spirit soul that you are. My topic, as you breathe in to your heart, right there, is experience prosperity as bliss. Experience prosperity as bliss. See, bliss just means you're not thinking. That's it, basically. Because when you're in the moment now, centered here, there's no program running. And yet the program always wants to run, if you notice. It doesn't last for too long. It's back again, back again. So it's a relentless process to keep bringing yourself back to yourself, to the now. Instead of outsourcing your power to the mind, to the thoughts. You have this mind, but you're not a mind. You're divine consciousness that is far greater than what you would call mind and far more capable. And we're creator beings. This is our nature. This is who we are. So what we want to do is let go of the stuff that's stopping us from that bliss of prosperity. Prosperity also means to go forth with enthusiasm. That's what it means, to do what you want with enthusiasm. And in the moment, it's always this moment that we ourselves, probably in the aloneness of night, maybe on your knees and in your jammies by the bed, or I like to meditate cross-legged, or be basically in a state of meditation most of the time, because that means you're centered and you're breathing, and yet you're not allowing the thoughts to take you away to some scenario of the past, of lamenting what coulda, shoulda, or woulda been, or glorifying yourself by the past of what you did or what you didn't do and how great you are and all that, or projecting into the future about what could happen to me. Oh, it's going to get better tomorrow, or oh, that could happen again. This is the mind. You have to know the distinction between you and the mind, because see, real prosperity is that sense. It's a true divine sense of knowing who you are, knowing the truth that always is. And when you know the truth that always is, you stand in that truth as you do your work, as you go out to do your services, you see. And you do the service with the love, with the desire to benefit those that you serve. That's the way it is. People say, well, I don't need to serve anybody, I need to be served. Well, that's really interesting. But it doesn't work that way. Somebody's always serving something or someone. And so many people, we're just serving the tongue, or we're just serving the eyes, or people just serving the genitals, or serving the ears, or just serving some physical thing, and not serving the soul or the real self. So in that way, your products and services, whatever you would be doing, would be serving the welfare, well-being of the true living entity, of the trees, of the plants, of the animals, of the humans. All living entities expressing. One of the keys is as we get rid of envy, because envy comes from that conflict programming of doubt of self, where the war is going on between the mind and the self. The self isn't having a war, because the self is that, in a sense, silent knowing. That's bliss, is that state of silent knowing, where you're not being emotionally driven by anything going on around you, because you know what it is that's going around you. You see, that's spiritual work. And I know I spent all years and years and years in my spiritual work, and starting pretty much consciously about when I was 17, getting ready to, get out of high school, go to college, and, what am I going to do? How's life going on, and what happens? And my great-grandma, see, she was my spiritual partner, Nanny, and then we would talk spiritual things, and she loved metaphysics. unity and religious science and the great mystical teachings. And yet it's also a partial truth, because there's also more. And that's the key, is that any teaching, as you get into it, you want to find the nuggets, the real gems that are there, because also everything gets influenced by those who are translating, or those who are writing it down, or what they want you to believe or what you want to know. And you want to be able to be, like I call, a spiritual detective. I call it spiritual sleuthing, to go out and know how you discern truth from false, so you can get those nuggets and you own them, and you do that. So envy is a manifestation of believing in scarcity and competition. And that's what creates us hating each other, at war with each other, and saying that we're different, and my God's different, and your God wants my God wants you dead and maimed, and that'll make my God happy. That doesn't fit. That doesn't fit. So how I back engineered myself, see, is you go back to the roots of who you really are. And if we go back to the roots of who we all are, and we go back to actually sensing mother love, you see, at birth, and father love of caring, for the children and the family and the land. And so and love not being lust of like and dislike. See, fear is not the opposite of love, because absolute love has no opposite. Fear is an implant. And actually there is a sense of how it got hacked is, yes, we have a sense of if there was a danger or not, but we know how to act. It doesn't become a overwhelming immobilization kind of a thing of fear, because we're tuned and we sense it. So people say, well, you got to have fear for this. No, but when it does come, or if it does, and you get then what it is, there is a belief. And it will also come from what they call the reptilian brain. I don't know if that really exists or doesn't, but some say it does. And so I don't really believe that stuff. But it definitely has an influence, because it's based on fear. And the reptilian then fight or flee. I'm going to hide out behind this rock and nobody's going to see me, or I'm going to run really fast and get away. Well, yeah, it may be that's what you need to do in any situation, but there are a lot more options when you're in divine mind, in the prosperity of bliss, you see. Because then in the state of bliss, you have options, because you're not operating from a script, from a program that says you do this, 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 and this, and this, 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 and this, and all of these labels and such that we're holding. So the envy then means, I want what you've got, I want you gone, and I want you dead, because you're standing in my way, because you're the one, because if you have it, I don't have it. How many people are not really happy with someone else's success? Other people are not really happy when other people are happy. And some people are just, when they're ugly inside, they emanate ugliness on the outside, because of the ugliness of so much hatred and so much anger, that they would want to destroy cultures and groups of people and animals with electronics and kind of chemicals and poisons and all of this, and to control even thoughts. And so it's very, very interesting as you watch and you perceive what's going on. There's the poverty of allowing ourselves to be run by the mind. And when you have envy, the key is you have to program yourself out of it by realizing what it is, and that causes the competition. And it causes, well, I got to show who I am and put down you, and I'm better than you, and I'm doing this and all this. This takes your energy, because all of that makes you tired, you see. And I noticed, like the other day, I think I had about 4 hours sleep or whatever, but I had the whole day going around, running around, doing stuff, everything, and no tiredness, you see. You have If you want a natural life, you have to give up what's natural. And natural is harmonious. Natural is good. And people are always saying, yeah, but in this world, you're coming from who you are, and you're going to have a foot here and a foot, but you're being here from who you are, and acknowledging and recognizing the divine, the presence. And as you do, then more and more do we perceive the presence, more and more are we in bliss and beyond, because now we're also activating and actualizing and accessing and expressing all that we are, you see. And that comes really, really, really simply to let go of this collective unconscious, of all of these beliefs, of taking ownership of yourself and being really serious about that, because if it is to be, it is up to me, you see, in that sense. And then to activate and bring forth your true self, yes. And when you do that and you have knowledge of that, it isn't a happenstance. You are standing strong in who you are. And that is my work, to assist you, to empower, to enrich you, and to share with you in the way that I have available through my courses and classes and workshops and seminars, phone counseling, teaching, mentoring. I do mentoring, and which is so great, to work with you with the strategies for you to attain whatever it is you desire. And by knowing this system and sharing that with you, and I worked with the mystic masters of India for a long time, and sharing with me these secrets and such. So I look forward to working with you. Thank you for those who are helping to sponsor this by sending your donations. And just know whatever you give is so greatly appreciated, because then we can give this freely through the internet, through the YouTube and other ways that we can access that. So come back to the website, terrycole-whittaker.com. We've got great things coming. We've got workshops at Shasta. We've got some courses and classes on manifestation starting one a month. We'll probably be recording those. So anyway, good things are happening. These are the best and the worst of times, as it says in the Tale of Two Cities, and we're going to make it the best.